All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're back on the docket. We're going to start with, we have a few first appearance on our docket today. So when I call your name, step up. I will tell you what you're being charged with, and then we'll be able to discuss bond. So Eric, Eric Abdo. Eric Abdo?
He's here in the main jail, Judge. He's in a wheelchair. He's making his way to the podium.
Okay. If he can hear me.
Sir? No, he's coming up, Judge. He's right
Oh.
here. Be careful.
Good afternoon, sir. We brought you up to let you know that there's an out-of-state felony hold for you, and you should be going to extradition court next Tuesday or Thursday. Good luck, sir. You're welcome. Velda Alexis. Velda Alexis.
I've been informed bonded, Judge.
Thank you. Caitlin Williams.
Good morning. Sorry.
Ms. Williams, good afternoon. You're before the court today for one count of petty theft, 2 possession of opium derivative, and 3 resisting obstruction without violence. And the court does find probable cause. Does the party wish to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. I was going to ask the court to consider releasing Miss Williams' ROR. She has been a resident of South Florida for all of her life. She lives with her grandmother. She cleans offices and houses for a living. She was living with her mother for an extended period of time, but unfortunately her mother no longer lives at that location. But she has been with her grandmother for quite some time, and that is where she'd be going back to, Judge. She'd go back to live with her grandmother.
Miss Williams is out on a $30,000 worth of bond on pending charges of trafficking in oxycodone and 2 counts of delivery of oxycodone before Judge Fine.
All right, Ms. Williams, count 1 does not require bond. I will not impose one. Count 2 is $1,000. Count 3 does not require bond. Good luck. Courtney Harden.
North Broward, Your Honor. She's a medical reset.
Okay, thank you. Kennard Warren.
He's approaching, Judge. He's here at Maine.
Mr. Warren, you're before the court for a traffic capias matter. The court does find probable cause. What does Mr. Warren wish to do?
Judge, and speak for Warren, he wishes to resolve this matter today.
State's offers withholding court costs, Judge.
Mr. Warren's offers a withhold adjudication and court cost. Does he wish to do that?
He wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
Mr. Warren, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Put your hand down, please. Do you understand the proceedings that you're in today?
Yes.
Do you need more time to speak with your attorney? You gotta speak.
You gotta say and answer.
Oh, no.
Okay, do you understand that you have the right to go to trial, that by taking a plea, you're giving up that right?
Do you understand? Yeah.
And, have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No.
And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
All right, what plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Warren?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea, find it freely and voluntarily given. I sentence you to a withhold adjudication and court costs. Good luck, sir. Michael Ray.
Mr. Ray is approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Ray, you're before the court for operating without a valid license. The other count is a traffic infraction, not for magistrate. and I do find probable cause. What does Mr. Ray wish to do?
Judge, Mr. Ray did advise me that he's right now in the process of getting his driver's license. He has I believe, a relatively clean record. If that's the case, Judge, I'm going to be asking for an ROR on Mr. Ray's behalf. I don't know if the state would have an objection to that, Judge.
Your Honor, my only issue, there's no way to confirm any of it. I don't even know, based on this report, if that's his name. By his own admission, he was living in Alaska to stay off the grid his entire life.
Yeah, there is some question about Mr. Ray's correct name. So the bond is $25, and I'll leave it at that. Good luck, sir. David Betancourt.
Good morning, Judge Char McLaurin. I'm here with Mr. Betancourt.
Good afternoon, Mr. McLaurin. Mr. Betancourt is before the court for municipal ordinance matter. I do find probable cause. What does Mr. Betancourt wish to do?
No, Judge. Judge, Mr. Betancourt would like to see if the court would release him ROR. He indicated to me that he's lived here for a year. He's employed at J Mark Restaurant, and he would like to have his day in court, Judge.
Does Mr. Betancourt have priors other than?
I'm checking that right now.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, as a friend of the court, I can tell you that Mr. Betancourt has never been formally arrested in Broward County before.
All right, now ROR Mr. Betancourt. Good luck, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Jean Guy Reach Anion.
He's here, Judge, in the main jail.
Mr. Anion, good afternoon. Sir, you're before the court for a misdemeanor capias on a municipal ordinance matter, possession of controlled substance, and the court does find probable cause. What does Mr. Anion wish to do?
Judge, as you can see, this is a 2010 municipal ordinance. It's my belief that the statute of limitations has expired. Mr. Anion, he's indicated to me he has been living here since then. He hasn't gotten so much as a traffic ticket, so he's not a danger to the community. And he's not a flight risk, Judge. He's has my information. We're going to keep in touch, and I'm going to file the appropriate motions attacking the merits of this particular matter. So I'm going to ask that the court would ROR Mr. Anion as well.
So granted.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Shane Jason South. Shane Jason South.
He's here in the main jail.
All right, Mr. South, you're before the court for municipal ordinance violation, and the court does find probable cause. What does Mr. South wish to do?
Judge, he wishes to resolve his case if the court is so inclined.
All right, Mr. South, if you wish to resolve your case, it'll be adjudication and time served. Does he have, I'm sorry, are you able to see if Mr. South has?
He's got drug priors, some mostly battery and drug priors, but nothing that significant.
Okay. Mr. McLaurin, I'll do a withhold and court costs.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Is that what you want to accept? Yeah. You gotta tell the judge, you gotta speak up, tell her you accept that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth? You can put your hand down. Sir, you understand the proceedings that you're in today?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
Nah.
Okay. do you understand that you do have the right to trial, and that by giving up this, by taking a plea today, you're giving up that right?
Right.
And have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
Yeah.
Are you taking any drugs or alcohol today that would affect your decision making?
No.
Do you understand that by if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
I understand.
All right, what plea do you wish to enter, Mr. South?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. I sentence you to withhold adjudication and court costs. Good luck, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Kenneth Mills. Mr. Mills, you're before the court for one count of a municipal ordinance violation, and I do find probable cause. What does Mr. Mills wish to do?
Judge, Mr. Mills would like to resolve this case.
All right, Mr. Mills, it'll be a withhold adjudication and court costs. Do you wish to resolve with that?
Yes.
Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Sir, do you understand the proceedings that you're in today?
Yes, I do.
Do you need more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Are you under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
No.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case today?
No.
Have you ever been treated for mental illness or emotional illness?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
All right, what plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Mills?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find it's freely and voluntarily given. Your sentence is a withhold adjudication and court costs. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. All right, Danielle Rizetto.
Mr. Rosetto is here, present, Judge.
Mr. Rizetto, you're before the court for one count of DUI, alcohol or drugs, second offense. 2, refusing to submit to a DUI test. 3, unlawful speed that's not for magistrate. And 4, disobeying or avoiding a traffic device, which is also not for magistrate. The court does find probable cause as to counts 1 and 2. And Mr. Rosetto, I've been advised that your bond has been posted. Good luck, sir. Giovanni Cabreja.
Mr. Cabrera is here, present, Maine, approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Cabreja, you're before the court for one count of possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less. 2, possession of cocaine. 3, possession of amphetamine. 4, possession of controlled substance without a prescription. And 5, possession of drug paraphernalia. And the court does find probable cause. What does the parties wish to be heard as to bond?
Your Honor, he's currently on pretrial release for domestic violence battery, case number 1882225MM10A. And we're asking that you revoke pretrial as to finding probable cause in this case.
When was he placed on pretrial? I see it, December 10th of 2018. All right.
Judge, I'm gonna ask you at this time not to take any action on that case. The case that he's on pretrial, it's a misdemeanor offense. The new law offenses, the allegations, they're not violent, not similar in nature. Judge, I do realize he's out on pretrial, so that's why I'm not gonna ask you for any sort of bond reduction or anything like that. Non-violent new law offenses, Judge. So I'd ask you to keep the bonds in place.
All right, as to the new case before us, the bonds will remain in place. But as to case number 1882225MM10A, I am going to revoke the pretrial release. It's going to be no bond. Good luck, sir. Antonio Mendez. Antonio Mendez. I need Mr. Mendez, please.
Judge, I'm just trying to explain to him what happened. Wasn't aware. He didn't know that the new offense that he's out on pretrial was gonna be addressed, Judge. So that's what I'm trying to explain to Mr. Cabrera right now, Judge. Thank you, Judge. He's approaching.
All right, Mr. Mendez, you're before the court for one count of retail theft. The court does find probable cause. Does the parties wish to be heard as to bond?
Judge, Mr. Mendez wants me to advise the court that on this theft offense, the $3,500 bond, he cannot afford to post a monetary bond. Right now, he advised me he's on disability. There's no one that he can contact to help post his bond. He's asking for the court to consider a bond reduction on this case. Using the services of a bondsman, he believes he can post a bond if the court were inclined to reduce it to $1,000.
I don't have an objection to a $1,000 bond, Judge.
All right, then, Mr. Mendez, the court does find probable cause. Your bond will be $1,000, sir. Good luck.
Judge, Mr. Mendez just whispered more information to me. He believes that he can actually maybe come up with 500. So he's asking if you could consider 500 so he can post a $500 cash bond. That's what he just advised me he wanted to do.
That's gonna be denied, Mr. Romero.
Can I do the 1,000 then?
It's $1,000. Finest Williams. Finest Williams? Mr. Williams, you're before the court this afternoon for one count of possession of heroin. Counts 2 and 3 are felony capious matters which are not for magistrate. My notes indicate that you should be going to your felony division judge on February 11th. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Good luck, sir. Shane Salaya.
He's approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
All right, Mr. Salaya, you're before the court today for 2 counts of battery on an officer or a firefighter, and the court does find probable cause. What does the parties wish to? Does the parties wish to address bond?
Your Honor, I'm requesting a $2,500 bond on count 1, $1,500 bond on count 2. His history includes 2014 battery, 2012 trespass, 2011 resisting with violence with a violation of probation.
All right.
Judge, in speaking to Mr. Salaya, he cannot afford the $4,000 bond. Right now, he's looking for work, but he can't find any. Now, he was getting disability. Unfortunately, those benefits stopped, so now he's in the process of trying to initiate those benefits. He's living in Hialeah. A friend is helping him out, helping stay there rent-free, but he says that person's not going to be able to afford to post his bond, so he's asking, Judge, if you would consider releasing him on pretrial release, and I'm going to be asking the court to sign an order allowing us to photograph the injuries Mr. Salaya sustained.
All right, that's gonna be, the pretrial release is going to be denied. The bonds are $1,000 on each count, and I will sign the order for the photos. Good luck. Luis Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, bond has been posted? Okay. Jonathan Ochoa. Mr. Ochoa, you're before the court today for 1 count of possession of cannabis over 20 grams and possession of drug paraphernalia. And the court does find probable cause.
Judge, I don't know if the state would have an objection as far as releasing Mr. Silva Ochoa on an ROR or in the alternative on pretrial release.
1 moment.
All right,
Your Honor, frankly, he He has one prior misdemeanor of possession of cannabis, so whatever the court deems appropriate, I'm fine with.
Okay, I'll RR Mr. Ochoa. Good luck, sir. Donovan Scrattish. Sir,
Your present, Judge, I'm
sir, you're before the court for 1 count of possession of cocaine and 2 possession of methamphetamine. And the court does find probable cause. Does the parties wish to be heard as?
Yes, Judge. Unfortunately, Mr. Scrattish told me he's going through a very, very difficult time. His father, unfortunately, he's diabetic and he resides in North Carolina. He was advised because of his health. He's going to have to face a surgery. They're going to amputate his legs.
No, he already had him, man.
Oh, you already?
He's in a diabetic coma. Excuse me, please.
Bottom line is, Judge,
I'm supposed to be moving up there today.
he wanted to go to North Carolina to be with his father, to be with him during this tough time. He told me that right now. He's not in a position to post a bond. He's 41 years old. He's been here almost his whole entire life, Judge. He knows that these cases are felony. He still has to come back to court. He did say he will come back to court to address these charges once they're filed. But right now, he's asking for the court to consider releasing him ROR.
When did your father have surgery, sir?
He's had it the last 2 months. He had one, and then today I was supposed to be on a plane, ma'am, to go up there. I literally got caught with
Don't talk about the facts.
my suitcase. No,
Okay.
a suitcase and stuff. I was supposed to be on the plane to go up there. He left me with the business and everything, but he's his last one was like a month and a half ago. He had the right leg taken off.
Who does your father live
I
with?
was by himself. My aunt kind of goes over there and takes, feeds him food and helps him take a bath. But it's in Winston-Salem.
Okay. When was the last time you visited your father?
To be honest with you, I haven't seen him since I was 17.
And how old are you now?
41.
Okay. What kind of history does Mr. Scrattish have?
I'm sorry.
Your Honor, in 2018, he was convicted of possession of methamphetamine and diazepam. I would note on 2 separate occasions on that case, capiases were issued by his assigned judge because he failed to appear in court. 2015, possession of PVP. He violated probation, was sentenced to 364 days. Theft, 2015. Possession of cocaine, 2014. Resisting without violence and battery, 2011.
Thank you. Mr. Scrattish, it is unfortunate the situation your father is in, but your bond, sir, on both counts, 1 and 2, is $1,000 each. Good luck. Eric Henderson.
He's approaching, Judge.
Mr. Henderson, you're before the court today for 1 count of possession of methamphetamine, 2 possession of cocaine, 3 possession of alprazolam, and 4 possession of drug paraphernalia. And the court does find probable cause as to all counts as the parties wish to address the bond.
Not at this time, Judge.
All right. The bonds are, as stated, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and 100. Good luck, sir.
I'll call your 2 friends right after court, sir.
Ronnie
Good luck.
Giles.
Don't.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. You're before the court for 1 count of possession of MDMA, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, Mr. Gales, I did advise him as far as the bond. What he advised me, he cannot afford to post, and no one can afford to post on his behalf. He's working. He's working for a swimming pool company, in which he's been employed there for about 3 years now. He makes about $400 a week. And what he informed me, he's actually scheduled to work this weekend. Right now, he's been doing well at that work, at that job, and he just doesn't want to risk losing it. He lives in Fort Lauderdale with his grandmother, and his grandmother's elderly, and she cannot possibly afford to post his monetary bond. Judge, I'm going to be asking if the court would consider releasing him on pretrial release.
All right, Mr. Giles, I do find probable cause. I will release you to pretrial supervision, but that will also include random drug and alcohol testing. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Good luck, sir. Make sure you report that now. Tomorrow's the weekend, so they're going to be closed. So you have to go Monday morning in the morning, or else you're going to have a warrant for arrest.
Across the street.
Right, it's right across. Follow that map. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. John Anselmo?
Mr. Anselmo, come on up, please.
Mr. Anselmo, you're before the court today for one count of possession of MDMA and two, possession of drug paraphernalia. And the court does find probable cause. What says the parties as to bond?
Judge, Mr. Anselmo, similar situation, he can't afford anything. He's working at a company called Q&S Painting, where he's been employed now for 4 months. He's 54 years old, been here almost his whole entire life. He's living in Fort Lauderdale with the roommate, and his share of the rent is about $200 per month. Now, Mr. Anselmo did tell me he has priors, so at this time I'm asking for Mr. Anselmo to be released on pretrial release, and we wouldn't have any objection to also have him basically subject to random drug urinalysis and to have a follow-up, Judge. So that's what we're requesting on Mr. Anselmo's behalf.
Fine with that, Judge.
All right, Mr. Anselmo, I do find probable cause. I will release you to standard pretrial supervision. You will be subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. Sir, you need to report to pretrial. Today's Friday, so by Monday, you need to be there. Failure to do so will lead to your arrest. Good luck, sir. Brandon Rogers.
Mr. Rogers is approaching, Judge.
Hi, Mr. Rogers. You're before the court for one count of possession of MDMA, two drug paraphernalia, three selling, manufacturing, or delivering forged driver's license or ID, and four larceny of credit or credit card. And the court does find probable cause as to bond.
Judge, he, unfortunately, he can't afford anything. He's homeless at this time. He did advise me, though, he has a mailing address where he could get future court notices to make sure that he comes to court and doesn't miss a court date. He's 33 years old, Judge, been here almost his whole entire life. We're asking for pretrial release with the drug eval and a follow-up on Mr. Rogers' behalf.
Your Honor, I just want to advise the court. It appears that Mr. Rogers has gotten out of Florida State Prison somewhat recently. In 2017, he had a possession of heroin, and on April 11th of last year, he was sentenced to about just over 15 months state prison. He also had 2017 possession of some other type of controlled substance that, frankly, I can't pronounce. But he was received the same sentence on that. 2017, possession of cocaine, battery on a law enforcement officer, violated probation, received the same sentence. Theft in 2017, theft resisting a merchant in 2017, resisting without violence, unlawful use of false name ID in 2016, and let's see. I'm showing he just got out of state prison December 1st of last year. I'm also seeing there's been prior failures to appear.
The only thing I will add, Judge, what Mr. Rogers just told me, and I'm sure Mr. Lender will correct me if I'm wrong, that he was never given the opportunity to be on pretrial. So now, if he's given this opportunity for the first time from what he's advised me, he will do the right thing, Judge. That's what he's letting me know.
All right, at this point in time, the bonds are going to remain in place. Good luck, Mr. Rogers. Juan Flores. He was a reset from this morning.
He's not here, Judge. The only person that was reached out from this morning, Mr. Jason Fisher, but the other gentleman must be in a different facility.
Oh,
I apologize, Your Honor. Who did you call?
I was given this, I don't even remember. Juan Flores? That doesn't even ring a bell. No, well, that wasn't the MO, but Jason Fisher is the MO. Right, but,
Juan Flores is an MO.
oh, I didn't even, but he's not there, and,
That wasn't the.
I have Jason Fisher's paperwork, but I don't see that we add charge, there was any. I have the one from this morning.
Mr. Flores is from North Broward, but he was a refusal.
Okay, so we'll reset Mr. Flores, thank you. Thank you, Deputy.
It looks like, are we going back to Mr. Fisher's case?
Yes,
I just asked very quickly, it doesn't look like we have any additional information about that ad charge, so I guess it's in the court's discretion, but you may want to just proceed with this, and if they ad charge him, they ad charge him. If they don't, they don't.
all right, Mr. Fisher, I can only address what I have before me, sir, so, you're before the court this afternoon for a municipal ordinance matter. And, I know you were here this morning, so that's a trespass. So-
Yes.
So what do you wish to do, sir?
I want to resolve the case today, please.
All right, your sentence will be adjudication and time served. Is that what
Yes,
you wish
ma'am.
to do? Then please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you can put your hand down, and do you understand the proceedings that you're in today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need more time to speak with an attorney?
No, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am.
You understand you have the right to go to trial, so taking a plea today, you're waiving that right.
Yes, ma'am. I
Have
know.
you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, ma'am.
What plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Fisher?
No contest.
Sir, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. And your sentence is adjudication and time served only on this trespassing charge. And I'll give you 6 months to pay your court costs. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. And then, that. So then, we can go to the Calvin Stevens. Where do we have Calvin Stevens?
North Broward, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, you're brought before the court today for a second look. He was arrested on February 5, 2019. So, what's the status of, this, there's an information filed on something, but it must not be this one.
Mr. Stevens is not able to make this bond as posted, Judge. I did speak with him earlier today before I had a copy of the afternoon docket. I'm trying to figure out where I wrote my notes down. Mr. Stevens, did you say that you had a couple of places you could live with your uncle or your girlfriend in either Pompano or Hollywood?
Yes, sir.
And are you able to make this bond? You told me you're not able to come up with any money for a bond, is that right?
No, sir, not at the moment. I
But you-
work, but I don't have the money for it.
But you do have a place to stay.
Yes.
Dude, I'd ask you to consider giving Mr. Stevens an opportunity to return to court on an ROR.
If you could just,
All right, what
think,
was his priors?
I think part of the issue, Your Honor, was,
Oh, I have the, you can go ahead, Mr. Moore.
thank you, Judge. He already has a pending grand theft and uttering a forged instrument. checking something on that. Just trying to get some information about that.
Well,
case.
does he have a bond on the felony, charges? Has he posted those bonds?
No.
I
So,
apologize, Your Honor. I apologize, Your Honor. He does not have a pending felony. It was showing up in my system a little differently. The pending felony I was referring to is the felony he's before Your Honor in court today.
right, he was before me, I don't even, February 6th,
Yes.
on the felony charges. And I'm not gonna make any changes. The bonds will remain in place. Good luck, sir. Darian McCreed,
Mr. McCree, Judge, he's here at me.
all right, Mr. McCreed is here for a second look. He was arrested on February 5th.
That is correct, Judge.
Mr.
He's being
McCree
held on this.
has a
I'm sorry.
$750 bond.
Judge, it's felony petty theft. Judge, as you can see, he's still with us here in custody. There's nobody that's going to be able to afford to post his bond. Judge, I believe I asked for it initially, and the court denied my request initially. I'm asking the court to reconsider here on the second look docket. He's living in Fort Lauderdale with his grandmother. His grandfather basically pulled lots of strings to have him be employed at the port as a longshoreman. He was supposed to start, I believe it was this past...
On the 6th.
On the 6th, which would have been 2 days ago, which would have been Wednesday. Judge, right now, he still believes that the job opportunity is still open to him. He did graduate from Boyd Anderson. I believe the state, what they advise you, Judge, is he had a recent arrest for petty theft. And also when he was placed on pretrial before, within 24 hours was one of the requirements he had to report. He didn't report. Judge, I did talk to him in length about the location of pretrial. He promises to report within 24 hours. Judge, in reading the PC affidavit, my understanding is when he took a red T-shirt. I don't want to get into a lot of the facts, but Judge, sometimes when you're starting a new job and it might have been a stupid decision, he wanted it to look presentable, and it was a stupid choice, but we're talking about a red T-shirt. I know initially in the police report, when he was approached by the LPO said, I think he walked away, which may have people think he was trying to flee or not cooperate. As soon as a uniformed law enforcement told him to stop outside the store, he stopped. He cooperated, he tried to explain to him his situation. He was arrested, Judge. He didn't try and run upon that law enforcement commanding him to stop. Judge, he will be coming to court. He will abide by whatever pretrial release conditions you give him. Judge, he made one stupid decision. We're asking the court to release him on pretrial release.
And Your Honor, I think will cause the court some concern. This is more than just about one bad decision. Yes, he did have an arrest for theft last year where he was given the opportunity to go to pretrial. And this was after, by the way, I just want to note, this was after he already pled out 2 other thefts last year. He was then given the opportunity to go to pretrial, where not only did he not report, that was one of the reasons for his violation, but he got arrested for another theft. And that was the basis of the violation in that case. But it's more than just the petty thefts. 2015, grand theft auto, 18-month state prison. 2013, burglary of a dwelling and theft. 2010, uttering a forged instrument and grand theft. 2009, burglary of a dwelling with a violation of probation. And I gotta say, I'm kind of shocked he's got a job at the port, because I know security, it's it's pretty secure there, and it looks like maybe he's since thrown that away now, because he continues to steal, and whether it's a shirt or other property, he takes property that doesn't belong to him.
And that is true, Judge. Mr. Lunder is absolutely right. To get a job there is very difficult. And his grandfather basically pulled a lot of favors in order for him to be employed. And right now, Judge, I believe that opportunity of a lifetime is still available to him. I'm asking the court to release him pretrial. You can have him even basically call pretrial once a day. As soon as he wakes up, that's the first thing he has to do. Judge, he doesn't want to lose this golden opportunity.
Mr. Romero, I have a lot to take into consideration. In this 4 corners of this affidavit that I have, he has 2 prior convictions for theft, and also he was trespassed from this Walmart last November. So at this time, I'm not going to make any changes in the bond. It's $750. Good luck, sir. And then I have Barry Hope,
Bonded, Judge.
bonded. What, is there another docket? Is that,
I think the only case we have left is one misdemeanor obviously on the misdemeanor docket. A Nerum.
I didn't get that. Paul Ryan, thank you.
Out of Lee County. Your Honor, Ms. Lorero is here in a second look. She's being held on a local charge of DWLS. She's also got an out-of-county hold for a VOP out of Lee County. That's no bond. I imagine the public defender will be requesting an I have no objection to an ROR in the local charge so she can go
That's
to
right.
Lee County.
I would be requesting that, Judge. That way Lee County can come and get her.
All right, so I will ROR Ms. Lorero, and then Lee County, you have charges pending there. Good luck, ma'am.
Can I ask you one question, ma'am? Is there any way that I could be released on my own? I've never missed a court date. I'm not a flight or any.
It's out of Lee County,
any type
ma'am,
of-
so you have to go back to Lee County.
There's
to
nothing I
resolve
can
it
do
there.
with the Lee County case. Okay. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're at the end of our docket. Have a good weekend, everyone.